This is Tales of Swordfall.
Episode 23, Ashe and Smoke.
In his defense, he did not ask for this curse. From what I understand, I had an axe run through me, and this necklace came attached to him once he found it, in the same build.
Mayor Billio just gives you this look, and he leans in toward your direction. So you were traveling with the cursed man knowingly, and you took him to a civilized town.
It doesn't always... It has a trigger. It isn't always in effect. The slightest thing sometimes... Well, no, I wouldn't say that. Sometimes it just randomly starts off. He's usually good 90% of the time, and the 1% usually is something that we can manage pretty easily.
And Nark's just like putting his face in his hand and like, are you trying to help me or not?
Have you ever
And he's gonna look back up at Billio and be like, sorry, he's gonna shut up again.
Have you ever handled a poisonous snake egg? It's harmless at first. It does not hurt anyone at first, and then it hatches. So you willingly brought a crate full of poisonous snake eggs into our town.
No, that's not exactly right.
It was a metaphor.
The curse didn't always trigger. I've only seen it trigger once or twice, and that's in the span of... How long have we been traveling together, Nord?
Technically, you guys have only been traveling for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's about that.
I'm gonna exaggerate it. I'd say within a year or so, maybe.
Oh.
It's been a while.
Deception roll, please.
Yes!
Ooh, 24.
Wait, why do you have +9 on this?
Because Ran is now a rogue.
Wow.
Yeah, just
I'm
multi-class.
a great liar.
Well done.
All the mayors from all the different towns start discussing to themselves in low murmurs, and you can hear. Apparently, this hall has a clock. The clock just kind of ticking past. It starts getting a little intense. And talking about intense, we're gonna go back to the refugee camp. Yeah.
Oh,
That was bad, but good.
That was so bad.
I'm the right kind of tired for that. I was like, yay, good job. That's
So-
how I'm feeling.
It looks like progress is being made to maintain the fires.
I have a question, GM.
Go ahead.
Am I teaching Khalees how to put out fires or trying to keep her from catching on fire? That is a very good question.
Either way, that sounds like an animal handling.
All right. I was like, oh yeah, I tried to pawn her off on some witches, but they said, no, you deal with it. I was like, oh, okay. Ooh.
So, which one is it? Telling her to stay away or telling her to put it out?
So basically what Tyrker would try to do, if Khalees could catch on to trying to put it out, that would be amazing. But if Khalees wasn't getting it quickly enough, because he's trying to actually put out the fire as his main priority, not teaching an Albert baby how to put out fires, then it would be trying to keep Khalees from catching on fire.
Khalees is kind of getting this, actually. Even though her
Nice.
eyes aren't quite focusing on the patches where she's, like, putting dirt on and like stomping.
Is she
She's-
like digging at it like a dog or something? Like how would an owlbear like? She's not only an owlbear baby, but also a runt owlbear baby.
Yeah.
How is this owlbear putting out this fire?
Man, just switching the tables here, aren't you? I imagine since she is a four-legged creature, she is like making a giant hole and making sure the dirt is getting on top of the coals, and then she's just kind of like rolling on top of the fresh dirt, which could be a way to catch her on fire. Mantis,
But
I mean, you see in the distance this elf playing with an owlbear, but apparently they're putting out fires.
I am impressed by the owlbear and less impressed by the elf.
As a
But
dwarf would be.
definitely impressed by the owlbear.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see that like a few more like mercenaries are here, definitely, since there's like a Goliath here and an elf. Especially the Goliath towering above everyone. And your traveling companion Ashe is doing an. Actually, Ashe, give me a survival roll. Let's just see if you're like putting the fires out in such a way that it's actually helping either put out or control the fires.
All right. Yeah, that was okay.
Okay. Roll me a d20 just for curiosity's sake.
All right, here. Let's see.
Yeah, you're doing okay. I mean, there's a lot of like untrained people doing fire brigades and stuff, and if they weren't getting in your way, you'd probably do a lot better job. Or at least that's what you can tell yourself.
That's their camp burning. I'm not gonna get in their way. If they're in my way, then that's on them.
Exactly. So like, how are you picking out the spots that you're controlling the flames at?
I'm gonna try and get to the worst of it. With my my natural fire resistance and my my spell that can control the flames, and kind of get to the worst of it. And then let them with the buckets kind of get whatever's left.
Well, you noticed the elf and the owlbear. I think we decided to call it a kit, like a fox, for some reason. The elf would be kind of slinking around, tiptoeing around, very roguelike, obviously. Like, he's not just like stomping away like, oh, I'm here to save the day. He's like, doop, 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 dirt. Doop, doop, doop,
I like
doop.
to imagine Mantis is just kind of holding like the bucket under one arm and like standing next to Ashe while he's doing all the work.
Yep, I'm holding this bucket.
And
I'm
just,
helping.
like, pointing like, oh yeah, no, get the fire over there.
Takes a sip of the water.
Durger, you
I'd-
can.
I'd be I'd be on like wherever there'd be the least amount of people and trying to like stop the fire from spreading outward and keep pushing it back. It'd be like in some little nook that they forgot about or something, probably.
Cool. Anyone roll me a 1d4.
Oh no.
Oh no, actually this one's good.
Good.
So with your help, the help of the 3 communities that are being refugees here, and the actual townspeople, it only takes you about an hour to maintain the fire to enough that it's not going to start up any more fires anymore.
Nice. My supervision clearly worked.
Clearly worked. And yeah, like after it, people are given their rations of water, and you're also given rations of water. They offer it to you.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah, Mantis, this halfling has like a little like cup of water for you because you have worked so hard.
I take the cup of water and I hand them the bucket back instead.
And same thing happens to Ashe.
I'll take the cup and take a swig of it and I guess hand it back. So thank you kindly.
Okay. And the same thing happens to Tyrker.
Who's gonna totally do the weird thing of like taking a sip of the water and then like spitting it into the owlbear's mouth. Just
Okay.
hunched over, all awkwardly. Yep.
And all of you give me a Constitution saving throw.
Uh-oh.
Not Constitution.
I'd like to make it known
Oh.
I didn't
Wow.
actually drink the water.
Oh yeah, you didn't drink the water, so you're fine.
I'm going to drink the water after I give Khalees the water. So,
Okay. Yep.
Because, yep.
Okay,
You
you're
want me to
fine.
roll for Khalees as well?
Khalees can't really talk, so it doesn't really matter all that much.
All right.
But you know,
The rest
surround
of the people.
yeah, you know, surround you, like little tiffs are starting to fight out, like spring up, and you know, someone just says something that just sounds brutally honest, and another person takes offense and then says something back, and these like people start kind of fighting again. But this time, guards are trying to get in and separating the fights.
Chicker's gonna slink out of there, like get away from that conflict. Like, just got this goofy face and just like, come on, Khalees. Doop, 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 doop.
Did I notice did the water taste funny, or did I notice any sort of connection there?
Well, there's some cause and effect it looked like, but you can roll me Arcana or Medicine to see if you could make even stronger connection there.
Nope.
No, yeah, I mean, people are probably just sore and cranky after putting out fires. Who knows?
And
So,
the refugees too.
Mantis,
So-
she would have just, you know, after the halfling walked away, dumped the water like out, like on the ground. And after she notices like all the rioting, you know, standing there near Ashe, you know, I think we should go. They're gonna burn their town down again.
Maybe. But I mean, that 10 gold would look nice in my pocket. Tell you what.
Okay, let's get paid and get out of here. There's something wrong with the water here.
Ash kind of had kind of just shrugged off whatever it was and didn't tell what it was. Just kind of like shrugs his shoulders, like, sounds good.
Yep, doing clearly the most illogical thing. You don't see, oh god, was his name Lottie? I think it was. Yeah, you don't see the guy who promised to pay you right away. You can try to stop and ask people, maybe people who aren't like trying to start up fights. There are quite a few who are, you know, trying to diffuse situations, so they look like they haven't been quite affected.
Yeah, I'll just ask. I'll ask around to try and find Lottie.
Okay, give me an investigation roll. Let's just see how well this goes.
Okay.
14.
A
Yeah,
14.
it takes you a few people. You know, one's like, "Oh, who's Lottie? I don't know who Lottie is." And you know, there's enough people who are like from out of town that are trying to stay here who, you know, I either vaguely know where he is, but you finally get a firm and definite answer that this man is helping figure out things in the city hall where all the town's mayors are at right now. Apparently, there's some kind of trial going on.
after every person I have to go to talk, after the first one, I'm just like rolling my eyes until I get an answer. And
Nice.
then after I figure it out, I just go to Ashe and I'm like, we need to go to the town hall.
All right. I don't know if I've noticed abuses, Mantis.
They would
What
have given you directions to the town hall.
Oh, okay, we know the way. All right.
Yeah.
And let's go.
Yeah, we're totally just gonna go to the town hall.
Yep, and you start going to the town hall, and it seems like there's a small audience who are standing by the doors, trying to listen in what's happening.
Could Tirker try to slip in through that audience?
Oh,
Or would that be difficult?
you could. This is probably one of the few freestanding buildings in the actual town. It looks like they've made it to accommodate like full-size people. So
Mhm.
if you want to just kind of slip in, that would be either a stealth or some kind of dexterity check.
I can do stealth. He would basically be trying to do the whole like concert move up through the crowd / slip in the building in the easiest spot, wherever he could see an easy way to get in, because he knows that's where they were taking Norik.
Yeah, sure, do it.
Stealth the goes.
15.
Not terrible.
No, not terrible. Once
Not
again,
like an easy way in, but
yeah. Um, you know, I'm just gonna say for easy sake, Mantis, you notice that Elf again, he slipping through the crowd of these halflings, and he's sort of kind of like making a path. That's not like closing instantly, but he's definitely looks like he's getting into the building.
I'm probably holding Khalees out in front of me to like coax people out of my way. And she's probably snapping at people or something. I don't know what she'd be doing.
She's
but
probably cooing and like
hissing at the same time.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, and turn around and move aside. Oh, excuse me.
Then I would imagine I'd try and sort of follow his lead.
Yeah, and
to get him, because we're just trying to get paid.
Yeah. And Ashe, do you follow through this through the crowd?
I think Ashe would stride confidently and boldly through, just kind of pushing their way through rather than slipping through.
Okay. Since you are doing the option of pushing people through, give me an athletics. 18. Yeah, you are literally pushing people out of your way.
Not like trying to hurt them, but like I'm just like firmly grasping people's shoulders and moving them out of my way.
Yeah, and you probably hear a lot of like, what? Oh, and they're like allowing themselves to like be guided by your hand on their shoulder, and before you guys, well, not before you guys know it, because it's pretty. You would know if you're entering a building or not. You go into the hall. It looks like a very human-made hall. It doesn't have some of the finery of halfling architecture. It's all kind of angled off on the inside. It has like very high vaulted ceilings. It's a little echoey. You probably aren't like very familiar with halfling habitats, but this doesn't sound like any of the stories that you've ever heard in your life. There
The
is,
carpentries. Oh,
huh?
go ahead. I was just gonna say the carpentry is probably pretty like iconically not halfling either.
Yeah. And you can see that on one side of the hall there are a row of benches, and Nork is sitting there, cuffed by Rayanne, who is very recognizable with her purple hair and her multiple coats. and there is a small raised stage kind of front and center where all the mayors are, and they have like comfy plush chairs, and Lottie is actually up there on this stage with them, and they're all trying to have a semi-hushed conversation.
Nork's gonna try and hear what they're saying.
Okay, give me a perception.
I might want to do one too. Oh wait,
Okay, yeah, go for it.
why not?
Not to be a bandwagon
Oh.
rider, but that's kind of what Tyrker tries to do always.
Okay,
Do you mind if I also
Yeah.
roll perception?
go ahead.
Oof.
Wow,
Oh,
that's
wow.
even better.
Does very well.
30.
If Ash or Mantis even care, they can try that too.
I guess I might be curious.
Okay.
Perception, you said?
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad.
17. Yeah, that's good enough. And like, you probably don't catch everything that everybody else hears, who rolled higher than a 1. But the conversation basically goes, the town of Longbarrow is trying to convince everybody that Nork is a troublemaker, that he has years of like mischief and violence under his belt, that he shouldn't be trusted, and they should throw the book at him and put him in prison for being such a miscreant. But the other mayors are like, well, we don't know this kid, and it sounds like you have personal beef against him. If only we could actually find the supposedly cursed necklace that that he was wearing, and actually verify that it's a magical cursed item, then perhaps we'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
When they say that, I'll stand up taller and raise my hand up with my head down and kind of jingle the bag that has the necklace in it. Excuse me. I think you want to take a look at this.
What?
And I look to them like, are they going to let me approach them?
Definitely the mayor of Longbarrow, who I've conveniently forgot the name of. I think it's
I already forgot. It was goofy. It was like
Bulio?
Billy Bob.
Billio.
No.
Bilio.
There we go.
There we
It
go.
was like Bilbo, but slightly different, and that made it hard to remember.
Yeah. Mayor Bilio gives you the scale. What elf? What do you want?
The name's Tyrker. Thank you. I took the liberty of removing the necklace from Norik when I had the chance. And he goes up, and I'm assuming there's some type of podium or table or something that they're at, and I'll put that on there and open up the bag for them to see.
Yeah. I mean, there is definitely a table. They're all sitting around. They all have like drinks on it. It's mostly like,
It's like a Hobbit style panel.
oh yeah, definitely. Some of them have sausages on plates and stuff, and they look very comfortable up there on the stage.
Got leather chairs and.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And do you take it out of the dump it out of the bag?
I do not touch it. I do not take it out of the bag. I'm holding the edges of the bag open, and I plopped it the weight of the amulet on the table, if that makes sense. So it's like its own little bag. Basically like a coin pouch sized bag, and I'm like, here.
Mayor Bilio just looks at you. It might be a bag full of rocks.
If I heard about the cursed item, I might step a few steps forward and say, Mayor, I think this is something I might be able to help you with.
All the mayors look at you, very interested, but it seems like Bilio is the most interested in this.
And
yes.
when you say that, I roll my eyes and I just flip the bag upside down, let the amulet plop on the table, and then I step slightly back and diagonally for you to come up.
so if I've been signaled to approach, I'm gonna walk up and say, I have some abilities of the arcane nature, and if this item truly is cursed, I should be able to tell you.
Yeah, and
That
maybe
is-
Vilio looks a little confused, but you suddenly see Lottie like go down and he whispers something. More than likely, that's one of the volunteers. And near Bilio shakes his head and kind of gives you a wave, and we'll increase your pay if you do this right. And he kind of gives you this like little signal of, yeah, say it's not cursed, and just say it's that dude.
I just had a quick question for the DM here.
Yes.
Would I have any material components for some of my spells, or do I still need to find those?
Usually, if it's less than 50 gold, I tend to think you would have it on you.
Okay, perfect.
Especially since you guys have probably like just refreshed from a adventure, or were going to an adventure and you got sidetracked here.
Perfect. If that is the case, then I will reach into a pouch and pull out an owl feather and wave it over the necklace and cast Identify.
Thank you for listening to Tales of Swordfall.
Please consider listening to these podcasts.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special episode of Where the Wild Things Roll. My name is John, and I will be your host and DM for this 5th edition actual play Dungeons & Dragons podcast set in the world of Ravarna. This podcast might be a tad different from others you've listened to. The two players will be my 12-year-old son, Kinnick, and my 10-year-old daughter, Kaylee, as they learn to play D&D through their very first campaign. We will pick up with our adventurers as they finish their time at Paduke's Adventurers Guild, as they take their practical exams in dungeoneering, magical beasts, weapons and armor, puzzle solving, diplomacy, history of the world, and magical cause and effect before they are set out into the world. Can our two adventurers pass their classes and become full-fledged members of the Adventurers Guild? You'll have to tune in and find out next time on Where the Wild Things Roll.
Please like, share, comment, and subscribe.